During the practical, we will have to keep our lab coat fully fastened, wear safety specs at all times, and gloves. The gloves are important because we're going to handle the tropane alkaloids in a very concentrated solution for the standards for the TLC, and also in a diluted solution, which is the urine of the child. The tropane alkaloids are powerful poisons that can penetrate the skin and exert toxicological effects in very low amounts. The urine of the child will be in a bottle like this, and you will have to measure exactly 50 milliliters, place them in a beaker, and pacify with ammonia. Ammonia is a strong base which will help to maintain the tropane alkaloids in a neutral form because they are weak bases. In a neutral form, they will be readily soluble in any organic phase that we will add later. The urine is an aqueous phase, a water phase, polar phase, and we will be adding chloroform as an organic phase. You will add in between 25 and 30 milliliters of chloroform. It doesn't matter how much volume in between 25 and 30 milliliters, but it's very important that you don't exceed 30 milliliters. The chloroform will be in the fume hoods. Remember, it's very volatile and very flammable. Once you have your chloroform and pacify the urine, you will add both into the separating funnel. Close very well the separating funnel with a suitable stopper, and obviously first of all you have to check that the top of the funnel is closed. So once you have the mix of the two phases in here, you will be mixing by inversion several times. At the very beginning, it's very important that you vent the mixture because chloroform is going to build up as a gas together with the heat of your hands and the heat of the movement. So it could be potentially exploding if you don't release this pressure. Once you've been shaking the funnel for, let's say, 20-30 times, you will allow the phases to settle and to separate again. For this, it's enough to hang the separating funnel by its neck. Don't do it by the top because it's very fragile. It will take a time for the two phases to settle, to separate, but you will see always in the middle a separate layer, a third layer, which is actually an emulsion. The harder you will shake, the bigger the emulsion you will obtain. Sometimes it disappears in a few minutes. Sometimes you will probably need to break the emulsion by simply taking one pipette, glass pipette, and moving gently this third phase or intermediate phase until it breaks and it separates into one or another phase. Once we have the two phases, we can put the beaker, open the tap, obviously take out the stopper, and gently and slowly pour the lower phase into the beaker. Don't take in the first extraction the intermediate layer. Leave it, if there's any emulsion, leave it for the second and the third extraction. At the end, you will be able to really separate the two layers much better. Then you will put all the collected chloroform phases, which remember they were not exceeding 30 milliliters, you will put it into a volumetric flask and you will make up with clean chloroform the volume up to the mark. So 3 times 30 at maximum will make 90 milliliters, so you still have 10 milliliters to fill up at least. Smaller volumes at the beginning, a little more of chloroform to arrive to the mark. From here, you and your classmate will have to separate and work in parallel. One will be performing the thin layer chromatography. This is qualitative. This is going to allow you to know exactly which alkaloids, which tropane alkaloids are present in the urine, together with the help of standards that you know their identity. The other classmate will be working towards quantifying how many alkaloids. Once we have extracted the urine 3 times with chloroform, and we have made up our solution to 100 milliliters, we will take exactly 20 milliliters, place them into an evaporating basin, go to the fume hoods, and you will see water baths, boiling water baths, where you're going to place, the demonstrator is going to place for you the evaporating basin. The kit will evaporate the chloroform, 20 milliliters will evaporate in quite fast, but remember that there will be many evaporating basins, so please write your name in it, because otherwise you risk losing it in the fume hood. Once this is evaporated, you will see that there's a thin film of residue, which are hopefully the tropane alkaloids. You will need to add a series of reagents in a given order. Read carefully the handout, and for this you will have to go and work in the fume hoods. There will be a big queue, but please, only one person is allowed to work at a time. The reagents are very dangerous, and we cannot allow the people to amass in the fume hoods and provoke an accident, which may be splashing too many people, and with the risk of, for example, one of the reagents making you blind. Once you have added all the reagents in a sequence, you need to gently try to dissolve this residue of tropane alkaloids in this mix of reagents and solvents. The solution will develop a nice purple color, pretty much like the one of the globe. And once you have developed this purple color, try to approach the spectrophotometer within 5 minutes. Otherwise, the color will start to fade out. For this, you approach any of the machines. Don't touch any button. Don't zero the machines. The machines are ready for you, and each machine will have a cuvette which matches the machine. Don't mess with the cuvettes. Each machine will have its own cuvette by the side. Use it. So you have to pour a little bit of your solution in the cuvette, dispose it in a beaker, and this will wash the cuvette with your own solution and get it ready for the real measurement. Fill it up. It will take just a couple of milliliters, and be careful, align the transparent sides of the cuvette for the UV beam or the visible light beam to cross through the transparent sides. If you put it in the other way, you will have incredibly high absorptions and your measurement will be wrong. So put the cuvette, close the lid, and just take the first number that gets more or less stable. The numbers will be continuously going down because the solution is fading in color. So you have to be careful and just take the highest reading you can see. For the qualitative analysis using thin layer chromatography, you will need to get double the volume that you use for the quantitative part. In this case, 40 milliliters will have to be measured and put in an evaporating basin. The evaporating basin will evaporate in the fume hood. It's going to take a little bit. Again, remember to identify your evaporating basin with a marker. Once it's evaporated, you will see, visually, you will see there's a residue, a thin film on the walls of the evaporating basin, which hopefully are the tropane alkaloids. These tropane alkaloids will have to be redissolved in very little volume of chloroform. I suggest you don't rush, leave the evaporating basin, which is very hot, 100 degrees, to cool down. And when it's, let's say, 20 degrees or 30 degrees, then add a few drops of chloroform. The first drops are going to evaporate. Obviously, it's too hot for the chloroform, but as long as it cools down, there will be finally a few drops which will stay liquid, and then you just have to swirl and try to get this residue of tropane alkaloids dissolved in these few drops of chloroform. For the TLC, you will find already cutted plates in the benches, like this one. And I recommend you not to touch the white surface, which is silica gel. It's very sensitive, and if you do it, chances are that you're going to spoil this with addition of dirt or fats from your fingertips if you're not wearing the gloves. The TLC, you have in page number 3 of the handout detailed instructions how to perform a TLC. Please read it well in advance and then apply the rules to do it. You will need a pencil, but not this kind of pencil. A very classic and old-fashioned pencil. Why? Because the other pencils are too sharp, and when you write or make lines in the plate, chances are that you are going to scratch out the silica gel with the very sharp modern pencils. You need to use quite an old one, and don't sharp it at all. The more use, the better. You will need then, remember to bring to the laboratory a ruler to be able to make proper horizontal lines and to measure the RFs of the spots you're going to obtain. Once you have this very concentrated solution of your tropane alkaloids, it's very important that it should be as little volume as possible. You will use a capillary, take volume and apply it to your TLC. I suggest you apply slowly, blow, apply a little bit more, blow to evaporate the chloroform, because the more concentrated it gets in the TLC, the better the analysis will be. Then we will have to load into the TLC our standard tropane alkaloids. Remember, these are poisons, and even if you wear gloves, it's possible that you forget that you were in contact with them, and then you scratch your eyes or you touch your lips, and this could be very dangerous. It could be leading to toxic effects. So please open carefully with gloves the standard, and each standard will be together with a capillary. Use the capillary which is together with the vial, because otherwise, if you use it for all the standards, you will contaminate them all, and your TLC will be a mess. So for the standards, you only need really a split second touch on your TLC. They are very concentrated. Leave the vial and its capillary together for your classmates, and then go with your TLC to the fume hoods, where you will have a series of tanks. A demonstrator will help you to put it in the tank. Don't move the tank, because if you make waves, your TLC front will be also not straight. You put it there, it's going to take a while. So don't wait by the fume hood. Try to go to the bench and help your classmate with the quantitative part, or start making some calculations. It will gonna take at least 15 minutes to 20 minutes. What we need is at least half of the plate developed. When it's reaching half of the plate, you can think about taking it out, going to another fume hood, evaporating the solvent, and when the plate is dry, then you can spray it with the reagent, which is Dragendorf. It's an orange solution, but it's going to fade, and the tropane alkaloids will become orange against a background of yellow residue of Dragendorf reagent. Then you will have to use again your ruler and calculate the RFs of every spot. Make a sketch in the last page of your handout, and then you can leave the practical. The questions you have to submit are going to be Moodle in the section of separation and chromatography, but also in the section of practicals. There will be this form that you have to fill in and upload in Moodle. So please don't bring any paper to the next practical. I will be marking electronically. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to working with you safely, but why not having a little bit of fun with the story around the tropane alkaloids and the child. See you soon.